artificial intelligence is going to take your job. Artificial intelligence has taken my job. AI. According to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, by 2025, AI is set to replace 85 million jobs worldwide. It's a pretty bleak picture being painted, unless of course you work in AI. It seems that every week new tools are being released, and the doommongers are calling for the abolition of technology, and presumably a return to smallpox. And if the hype around this next new tool is to be believed, the job market's about to take another hit. Or is it? So before anyone grabs the pitchforks and sets Silicon Valley ablaze, let's take a look and make an informed decision. Devin AI has hit the tech scene with a whole lot of buzz. They say it writes entire projects, snags freelance gigs, fixes GitHub issues. Heck, it might even do its own laundry. Who knows? Are we finally facing the coding apocalypse, or is this just one more overhyped AI tool? Ironically, a bunch of software engineers over at Cognition Labs cooked up this little troublemaker. And yeah, the rest of the software engineering world is currently begging them to put the brakes on this, for the sake of everyone's sanity. So what's so special about Devin? It's got access to the same tools currently being used. Terminals, browsers, code editors, everything. This means it thinks like a real software engineer. Well, as long as that engineer's main skill is frantically Googling until a decent Stack Overflow answer pops up. Devin's got some seriously impressive skills. Let's break down a few examples that make it stand out. Natural language to code. You don't need to speak in ones and zeros anymore. Imagine giving Devin a description like, build me a website with a login form, a product gallery, and a shopping cart. And it actually figures out how to translate that into HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript magic. That's bridging a huge gap between idea and execution. Problem solving through search. Devin's not just copying and pasting. It can actively search the web to find solutions, just like you would. Need to connect to a specific payment API? Devin might scan the API documentation, find the relevant code snippets, and adapt them to your project. It's like having a super fast, tireless research assistant. Learning and adapting. Say you teach Devin how your company usually structures its React components. After a few examples, it starts to pick up on the pattern, suggesting code that follows your specific conventions. This means less time spent on those repetitive tasks. Self-correction. We all make mistakes, even AI. Devin can test its own code, spot errors, and try to fix them on the fly. Imagine a world where those pesky typos don't derail your entire afternoon. These capabilities aren't about replacing humans. They're about changing how we work. Devin could democratize coding. Suddenly, folks with good ideas might not need to hire an entire development team to bring them to life. Devin becomes that bridge, making creation a bit more accessible. Boost teamwork. Think of Devin as a tireless junior dev. It can handle the basics, draft initial code, and give you something to refine and build upon. This can free up senior devs to focus on the big picture architecture and those complex problems. Accelerate development. Let's face it, a lot of coding is repetitive, even with tools like Copilot. Devin on steroids could mean less time on the boilerplate stuff and more focus on the unique challenges of your project. But here's where things get really interesting. Devin's already crushing other tools on those benchmarks that test if AI can handle real-world coding issues. Fair to say that AI usually bombs these tests. GPT-4, a pathetic 1.74% success rate. Devin's at 13.86%. Way better, but that still means it's wrong way more than it's right. Not exactly a job-stealing performance, is it? Of course, this number will likely improve. Now imagine tools like this working together. Think Google's Alpha Coder, crushing competitive programming challenges, tossing out thousands of solutions and picking the best. So you post a job on Upwork. In 10 minutes, Devin spits out 1,000 app options for you. Crazy, right? And Devin, apparently, is already grabbing those freelance gigs. Obviously, Silicon Valley wants to put devs out of work. There's huge money in that game. But let's take a chill pill. Remember self-driving cars and 3D printing? Big promises. But they haven't exactly changed the world overnight, have they? And anyone who's dabbled in AI knows it's great for basics, but the more complex stuff, That's where it starts to get messy. And keep in mind, these flashy demos are meant to grab eyeballs and investors. But even if Devin is a coding god, no serious company is going to hand over their precious code base to an AI and just hit deploy. Disaster waiting to happen. That's how you get hacked into oblivion. There's always going to be a human developer needed for that final check, just like self-driving cars still need drivers, right? And hey, have you heard of the term AI hallucination? It's when AI acts like it knows everything but spews out total nonsense. We've all got friends like that. Artificial intelligence can do that with code. Looks all fancy, solves nothing. And that's where we humans come in to save the day. Think about it. How many software engineers have actually lost their jobs because a company replaced them with AI? Probably not many. And why? Because building great software is about way more than just typing code. In fairness, AI is getting better at that part, but there's still a world of stuff it can't touch. Can an AI sit down with a client and figure out what they truly need? Nope. Devin works with existing data and patterns. A human developer can imagine something entirely new. Need a revolutionary way to structure that data or a completely unexpected user interface? That spark of innovation still lies largely with us. Can it work with legacy systems the way someone with experience can? Doubt it. Software rarely exists in a vacuum. It has to work with messy, real-world data, outdated systems, and unpredictable users who do wild things. Humans have an intuitive way of navigating that chaos, seeing potential solutions where an AI might just see errors. Can it plan out the bigger picture and user experience? That's still our creative domain. Devin might follow your instructions to the letter, but does it grasp the underlying why of a project? Consider a client who wants a website to sell handcrafted furniture. Devin builds the site flawlessly, but a human understands that the site needs to convey a sense of warmth, craftsmanship, and maybe even tell the story behind the pieces. That nuance is hard for AI to replicate. And can it collaborate and brainstorm with other humans? Not a chance. Humans bring their values, their conscience, and an understanding. The ability to put yourself in the shoes of someone else, to design not just for function, but for feeling. That's still deeply human territory. These limitations don't mean Devin isn't going to be amazing. Technology has always changed how we work. The first computers likely struck terror in the hearts of typists and accountants. Yet, look where we are now. AI, like those early computers, is another tool. Scary at first, but with tremendous potential in the right hands. And think back to the old days and how programming itself has changed. Remember coding 35 years ago? Just you and the blinking cursor? Then we got awesome editors, then code snippets. Now it's artificial intelligence generating chunks for us. See the trend? AI tools like Devin could be the next big leap, letting us focus less on writing repetitive code and more on the grand design and user experience. The stuff humans shine at. It's like when GitHub Copilot came out, folks panicked. But in reality, it's been a helper, not a replacement. So is the apocalypse upon us? No, not yet. But if you want to know when or how we might all meet our maker, check this video out right here. Devin's impressive, but it's a reminder that the future of work won't simply be about who can write the best code. The true battleground is in the human skills machines haven't mastered. So, friends, sit back, relax, crack a cold one. It's true to say that AI is getting way better, but headlines are for clickbait. And hey, if AI ever gets that good, we've all got bigger problems than job losses.